Now it's time for your weekly check-in, where we take a look at some of the biggest mental health headlines and how they may be impacting your daily life.
Let's bring in Dr. George James, a licensed marriage and family therapist at Counsel for Relationships. Probably someone you recognize here from the show. Dr. George James, good morning. Thanks for being with us. So let's start with post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Now, we've been following the tornadoes in the South and the devastation left behind. How can survivors recover from an event like this, and are they at risk for PTSD, especially when you think about what they saw, what they went through, how they might have been scared? How do you think they begin processing some of that trauma?
Yeah, good morning. And yes, with the tornadoes and incidents like this, it's like it does cause a lot of trauma. And one of the things is that, trauma is actually bigger than we actually realize. It's not just war. It's not just even when we talk about 9/11. It's situations like this, tornado, losing your home, sexual assault, other things like this. So some of the things that people can do is make sure that they have someone that they can talk to. And that for some people, they can have intrusive dreams or really difficult moments where their trauma could lead to what we start to talk about PTSD. Not everybody who has experienced trauma has PTSD, but if you have PTSD, you have experienced trauma. So some of this is to be able to acknowledge it, to be able to get the resources and help that you need, and to really go and talk to someone and know that it's going to be a journey. It's not going to be overnight. And especially if you've lost a home or a loved one, it's going to take some time to deal with the grief and the loss to be able to get to a better place.
Dr. James, let's talk about Tik Tok, where another concerning trend is taking over the app. It's called body checking, where users check the size of the bodies and compare them to others. This isn't the first time we've covered body image trends on social media. Why do trends like this continue to pop up on apps like TikTok, and what can people do to protect themselves from the damage this may cause?
Yeah, body image struggles or disordered eating is actually much bigger than we realize. We don't talk about it a lot. And sometimes we don't even recognize that someone could be struggling until they're at a really bad or extreme place. And social media has its great qualities. But as we see, sometimes it can influence or even trigger some of these negative things. And just a few weeks ago, here on the show, we talked about Jonah Hill and how he talked about his body image experiences. And when people think they're saying something good or even bad, it still affects the person. And so when people have to see these things, they could be triggered, they could be impacted, and it could lead to furthering their challenge with disordered eating. So it's really important that you pay attention to those around you, how they're taking care of their bodies or how they might be interacting with food, and hopefully give them the help and support that they need so that it doesn't get to a worse place.
Finally, let's do sort of a good one, a fun one for dog owners. A new study suggests taking a walk with your dog is better for your mental health than just taking a stroll by yourself. Why does a simple walk with your dog have this effect, and how can people without dogs find the similar boost from their walks?
Yeah, this is linked to something I say to my clients all the time. When we're talking about anxiety and depression, there's three things I encourage. There's talk therapy, there's physical activity, and maybe talking to a psychiatrist for medication. So that physical activity is what we get here. It is consistent. You're going to go out maybe 1 or 2 times a day with your dog. And the thing about it is that regardless of the weather, you're going to do it. It's not going to stop you. And it's going to help to release those endorphins that help to really combat anxiety and depression. We hear things like serotonin and dopamine. That's what you're fighting against when you do this. The other part about this that was really interesting in the study is that sometimes people actually lower their stress because they know that they're doing it for their dog. So there's something about generosity and doing something for other people and having that mindset that can reduce your stress and make you feel better.
Love that. I don't have a dog, but when I go for a walk, I smile when I see dogs.
Yeah,
so that helps.
And I have a dog who isn't great on walks. So this didn't really help either of us.
I'm fine.
Just
All right.
go for a walk.
Exactly. All right. Dr. George James, as always, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.